Hello, welcome back to Blender Sushi Live Noding. In this episode, I'm going to take you through the whole process, how I actually managed to get the face detection to work inside Blender. You saw the demo probably from the previous live noding. So I want to kind of explain all the technical details from the kind of artist perspective, because I always say that I'm not like 100% like a developer, and I don't have programming background. So, but anyway, if you're like a Blender artist and you want to start to get into programming, don't be afraid. I think I definitely suggest you to start looking into something like animation nodes and Sverchok. It will help a lot for you to learn programming. It's not like you learn noding and then you forget about programming. No, it's like actually they both are pretty equally fun and interesting to study. So anyway, the first step I did was to Google search. So I Google search for face detections, and I found, of course, that a lot of informations and things like this blog. This is from 2016. Since I'm trying to get information that's kind of open source, so I try to get information that's as recent as possible. Probably this is one of the lead, and then there's this Python code that I can try this one. But the one that I use is actually this one right here from 2014. I know the fact that we're gonna be using this OpenCV, Open Computer Vision module for Python, and this OpenCV has some documentation from the OpenCV official website, and I know the fact that we will be using this algorithm, HAR cascade, whatever it is that I still don't know yet. But anyway, this website helps me a lot, and this one gives you the code, and this one actually works, and it gives you the breakdown as well. I didn't go through everything. This actually works in real time on the web if you're using a webcam. So that's the whole different thing. But I checked his repository on GitHub, and then I found this face detect by Shantanu, and this one actually has some example and the file like this above photograph, you know, the famous group singer. You run the code and it will actually work something like, oh, by the way, if you want to follow my steps, you can download this face detect. Whenever you see something from GitHub, you just clone or just download the zip and look into the zip, and you will find usually the codes and all the files needed. Anyhow, fast forward, I download the zip and then I check one of the example, I test it out. Basically, I need to install this CV2 module. First of all, we're gonna be using Python, right? And Blender has Python inside it as well, Python 3.5 something. And I have to make sure the one I have in the system is not Python 2.7. It needs to be Python 3 and above. And I also need to make sure this module is already installed. And I already checked it out and I installed it. It is actually working. If you don't have the CV2 module, it will not work. So you need to kind of do like a pip install OpenCV or pip install CV2, something like that. Find out how you install the CV2 module, and then once it has installed, you just run the script. What I found from this script, actually from Shantanu, I think it's for older Python, so I need to make some kind of adjustment. The things with open source script is sometimes it gets updated really quickly, and then sometimes you find an error, and you just need to tweak something, and then it should actually works. I think the one that's actually fixed the error is this one. I just slightly make adjustment, and finally I get this one to be working. If I run the script, I'm using Pineapple app, which is kind of like a small little program that displays Python program in a way that looks like Jupyter Notebook. Well, anyway, I run the script. I make sure the image path is correct, and then also this algorithm cascade path is correct as well. This is the one where I put it inside pineapple folder, which is this guy right here. I have the cascade XML, all the algorithm all inside this folder. So the result we will get is something like this. It finds the face from the ABBA photograph. It knows, it detects there are 4 face, and then it's gonna generate and draw this square. Cool. So it is working, and we should be able to transfer this into Blender. Correct? Right? It should. In fact, what I really like from Blender is to be able to just print out the XY WH. XY is the position actually. If you look at the result, where's the result? Okay, I have to display it again. The result right here, you can see the XY, for example, this guy is like 457, around 59, 59, 56, and then the box is like 72 by 72. So this information is something that we can bring into Blender. And I tested first. Actually, I use a Sverchok add-on, and then I look at this value here, and I know that. So since we know the position of this upper left corner of the box, and we know the size of the box, it's actually very easy to convert that into Blender. Yeah, but anyhow, fast forward. So I want to be able to run this inside Blender, and there are 2 ways to do this. First of all, you either copy the module. See, I'm using this command here, import CV module, and then print the location of this module. It is actually somewhere inside this path. You can copy the whole thing into Blender, which is what I did right here. Or another way is you actually just simply tell Blender where the path into that particular module is, instead of copying the whole module into Blender path. So what I did here, I simply pointed out the locations of the module right here. Import sys, tell it the path to the CV2, and then if the path is not existing yet for the Blender, just add it to the system, and then we can import the CV2, and so on and so on. And then I just copy paste this script, the Python script, and it should just work, as long you give it like the correct path to the directory, and then etc. and so on and so on. It should just work. If we run the script, it's gonna do a little bit of calculations, and it's gonna tell you, okay, we found it. And let's see, let me have a look with Blender. Okay, it found, okay, this founds a lot. This is actually, I'm using a different photos. I'm using the Chinese troop image. I'll show you what it looks like. If I change this ABBA, I'll comment it out, change it to this Chinese troop 0001 JPEG. If I run this again, we should get the result. Oh, it's found 62 faces. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, this is the photo I grabbed from the internet just for fun. This actually works almost pretty well. Sometimes if it's just showing the eyes, it just doesn't work, depending on the algorithm cascade that you are using. And this is actually, I think it's failed on many face right here, and then it's not, if the face is too small, too low res, it doesn't work as well. So that's is the limitation. There's actually a lot of parameter here that we can change. Here, if I make it smaller, I think it should detect more faces, 77 faces. See, it detects more. It still doesn't detect these guys. I don't know why. Maybe the head is covering the face. But for most of these Chinese army soldiers, it detects the face. Maybe it's missing some eyes there. But you can also use the cascade that works for the face. If I'm not wrong, there's a cascade for eye, etc. So what's really important for Blender is how you transfer this data into something that's Blender understand. I'm using either Sverchok or animation nodes. Okay, the fact that we can run this script and then it works kind of like only few seconds and you get the result, which means you can easily transfer that to something like animation nodes. So face detect, this, I think this is one example right here. So this is what I give you a demo the other day. I'm using the similar script. I'll give you the script, I think, at some stage. What is this one? Is this something different again? Maybe I need to open a different one. Face detect test. Yeah, I think this one should work if I check the text editor. Okay, this is, see, the script is pretty much similar. I just made some changes, so this one actually works with a sequence of image, and the sequence of image will come here as an offset. By default, I just assume that the image at least have a number like 0001, 0002, things like that, and I can offset it per frame. So this script node will handle everything, and the output will be the location position for the square. So whenever it finds like a face, it's gonna draw some things. This is the position, upper left, and then it's gonna draw a box, or in this case, this laughing man kind of stickers. So yeah, that's actually the whole process. It's that's kind of very technical breakdown, but I think it should be really useful if you are still like beginners programmer. That's one way you can kind of approach problem solving using Blender. Blender is open source, and then a lot of these informations are all open source available for you. Python is open source program, and you can actually easily use it inside Blender. So a lot of things, a lot of Python modules that you can simply bring in into Blender and use it, and you will be surprised by how much you can do even with just like simple knowledge like this. Of course, every now and then you need to troubleshoot if the Python script doesn't work. You might need to make adjustment or slight changes. Maybe make it more like Blender friendly, maybe because it is inside Blender, and then the script might not behave as you expected. But anyhow, this is like the whole process, and you simply, once you get everything works, it's as simple as using it, and you can do more inside Blender. That's the main point. So yeah, hopefully you find this useful. So it's a lot of talk, but I think this is very, very useful, and I have to just need to record this, and hopefully you also find this useful, and let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below. Thanks again for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.